So, today I'll be talking about how to write a book that's enjoyable to read. So, say you're writing your book and you sometimes think to yourself, well, what if it all goes wrong? What if I can't write a book that gets the reader past the free preview? And what if it doesn't hold their attention as it's just too dense to read? Well, these are all valid concerns. After all, the person who ends up reading your new book is likely to be an avid reader and so is not going to enjoy a repetitive and cliche written same old book. They want something new. My point is, if you want your book to be read, think about the quality of your writing. Think about doing original research. Instead of cliches, think about using original metaphors, similes, and allegories. Allegories are like short stories to illustrate a point. Instead of lecturing, as many new writers seem to do, even myself when I was, early on in the day, try to create a picture in their minds. You can do this easily through a story. It doesn't even have to be a true story, as long as it's based on, say, an amalgamation of your observations. Some novice book authors like to pack all their themes and all their knowledge into one book. But this is not ideal, as it does not follow the single theme rule. If quite a few chapters have already been written, this may involve a lot of editing work to fix it if they have gone into 2 or 3 themes. And for the author, it's a bit unexpected when a book editor must change entire chapters and rearrange topics in the developmental stages of the book. It could easily be disheartening for the novice writer. And it can also get very expensive, with more hours needing to be spent to get the good juice and pare back the theme. What is a more effective and considerably cheaper solution is planning the book alongside a book writing expert right from the start, a writing mentor or coach, as they're known. First of all, let's go through what does an editor do. If your writing gets further along, but the flow starts to get all too confusing, you can hire an editor for a structural edit. And if they do the unraveling, this researching and redevelopment work may take many, many hours, because they'll be going back and forth, checking repeats and trying to get to flow. Preferably, you will take action on the expert advice from an editor. A developmental edit report incorporates a read over, commenting on parts where it's repeat or may not need to be there, and of course the report itself, which will also outline, what language needs to be consistent. Now, this is a different thing to the entire structural edit, because you are going to do the work that the report suggests. And most people do need help with structure at some point. Then there's the copy editing round. A copy editor needs to read every word on every page, including the words the writer left out by mistake, along with punctuation. And they should check sources and facts. A simple copy edit of 50,000 words, that's, your average size nonfiction book, where the structure was perfect, took me 22 hours with formatting. A long and complex book edit involving 2 reads took me 86 hours, and there were quite a few one-pass edits that I've done over the years, hovering around 40 hours, or some was 60 because it was a bit longer. So we're already up to 2 editing rounds on a medium-length book and 50 intensive hours for the editor to identify various issues, amend the spelling, grammar, voice, punctuation and clarity, and read over the manuscript. At times it is more if the editor includes comments to help the author understand why changes are needed. So fair enough if your quote differs. Some people do different things. And even though editors do not make a lot of money per hour, believe you me, on a 180-page business book, this average would be nearing $3,500 AU in potential editing costs, which is 50 times $65 an hour, very roughly. Asking a friend of yours to do this is like asking them to paint the entire outside of your house, and while they're there, can you fix the fence? So you can see that it's very much a full-time type position. When an editor becomes your coach is another thing to consider. It might seem a lot, these figures, if you had to struggle through all the early stages yourself and you're almost sick of it the time you come to your editor and say, please, can you fix it for me? But if you are struggling, always consider hiring a non-fiction writing coach to get you all the way to a finished book manuscript, apart from a final proofread and perhaps some sort of formatting styling. When you hire a trained editor as your writing coach, you get both things. So you get some help in creating the logical flow of chapters of the right length that will fit the theme of your book and help narrow down target audience as the writing coach. And you also get your supportive feedback and accountability. And just to save you looking, I can verify that the most influential writing coach in Australia charges around $7,000 Australian plus GST for a 6-month program. And another similar writing coach charges $5,000. So it's not small amounts we're talking about. So what is a single theme? This theme and its intended narrow audience is worked out in advance at the outlining stage. Sometimes the chapters can change and morph, but with the outline and a coach, you are not in the dark wondering if you said that topic before. And along with improving the overall structure, a writing coach will usually become a teacher of better writing techniques. She may point out ways to finish a chapter that creates some curiosity for the next chapter, for instance. And repetition of a subject matter can be a tricky one, as I've said. A writing coach may suggest the reader can hold the stories in their mind quite well, and so stories should not be repeated. However, some repetition in the form of different ways to say largely the same thing might be okay. If that's on your theme, you are going to repeat different ways of saying something. And it is only through experience that one can know the difference between overly repetitive and just fine. So it is this tender guiding hand that you need when you write a book. A hand such as my own, which has written 6 books now and over 230 articles. A hand that is edited with hundreds of thousands of words, all lined up like pretty pigs on a line. And this guiding hand would like to guide your writing so your book can speak to others. Support means you can create a better book, so you're not dithering for months, harsh but true, and you know what to do. So I offer a book writing coaching program, and also I offer established book development program. So the investment ranges from $2,900 for the basic book writing coaching program of a shorter length, up to $4,500 for the full established book development program, including self-publishing mentoring and access to the Book Creation Self-Published course. So please have a look down below to do the book brochure download and also say hi. Thanks.